For us, though, 25 and 15 for Dennis Smith Jr. Like, he tried. He tried to win us this game. But he's just not on their level. Grant was fine. Hayes was actually pretty good then in his 17 minutes. Okafor wasn't horrible. Diallo was fine.
Better than I would have expected.
I liked how Stewart did. He got 2 steals.
2 steals, good. Okafor got 3 blocks. That's nice. Diallo, 3 blocks.
Plumlee was fine. I like how the team performed. I mean, yeah, obviously we threw Joseph in there for a fucking couple minutes, and he got a couple shots going. Jackson, I guess, was the only real disappointment. If we're gonna like point fingers, Demboya was kind of really bad. Demboya.
We should trade him right now.
Okay, well this is where we're at. Okay, I played that one game. Now what should we do?
Let's do some trades.
Let's do some trades.
It's trade time.
Where's the trade finder? Trade finder. Okay. Let's talk.
What can we get for Plumlee?
Danny Green. And a first round pick. Hold on, what year is that? That's 2023.
We have 24 more offers though.
What? We're in 2021. We have three second round picks in 2021.
We had 25 offers for Plumlee. We gotta look at all the offers.
I know. I just wanted to see what year we're on.
Okay. I thought you were thinking that was the only offer. I was like, no. I don't think we have somebody else.
No, I'm excited about the first round pick. I want to somehow get a first round pick that says 2021 first round pick. If we can.
That's an interesting trade, kind of.
We upgrade it. We just get some centers. Which we want to sign Thonmaker. So I'm not really feeling. Why don't we go sign Thonmaker and J.R. Smith real quick, and then we'll look at these trades. Or do you think we should do these trades first? What do you think?
Let's see what all the trade offers are, at least for Plumlee first, and maybe like a couple other guys. Utah. Capella? Holy shit.
That's a pretty big upgrade. Is it just because Capella's expensive that they probably want to get rid of him?
I guess so. That just seems like a crazy kind of offer.
Because we're definitely not trying to keep Wayne Ellington or Plumlee. Like, this is a really good offer. Because we could have I'm not going to say a franchise center, but I'm going to say a very solid center.
He's only 26 also. Like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, we're trading some old guys for 2 younger guys. This makes no sense.
Yeah. I assume it's because they don't like Clint Capella's contract. Being expensive it is.
Oh, we have the cap space.
We're in a situation where we definitely can pay. We can overpay for players.
Plumlee's expensive too. That's probably gonna. I'm interested to see the other offers, but that seems like the best one we can maybe get because we definitely build around him. Because you were talking about wanting good defense too.
True. 25 offers. It takes a second. Hold on. I know it's nice to get excited over. What is it? I didn't even think about that. The Brooklyn Nets have DeAndre. Do they still have DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin?
They do.
Did they trade Jordan this year? No, like IRL. Did they trade Jordan?
They cut him like out of the rotation. It's crazy to me. His contract's that's high.
But is he still like on the roster?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Because Jordan and Griffin have like crazy chemistry from the Clipper days, so that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Oh, but it's lottery protected from the Pelicans. The Pelicans would have to make the playoffs, which is fairly likely. We'll give a second round. This one's relatively interesting. but it's very
I don't
risky.
know. I still like the idea of Capella. I want to see the other
I like
offers,
Capella
but
more than the risk of potentially getting like a lottery pick.
Capella seems like a safer option.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting. I like Boucher, but I
Yeah.
like Capella more.
I like Podol here too, and like we get a first round pick later, but it's again I probably still like Clint Capella.
Mm.
Not really. Draymond Green.
Draymond. I still like Capella more than Draymond,
I
and
like
Capella's
Capella more
cheaper.
than anything myself. I do get to the like area of like this seems like clearly the best trade for us to do, right?
Without a doubt. For giving up Plumlee right now to get a 26-year-old Capella for 3 years.
Yeah. And like we're giving them a shooting guard that we don't plan to use. For I guess another point guard that we don't plan to use, but he's cheap
He's
and
only
he's gonna be gone in a
25
year.
though, too.
He's like yeah, point one million more that we'd have to take on.
Yeah, that's nothing. Like Capella's definitely worth.
The only thing, okay, the problem with these trades that we talk about, I'm gonna back out entirely to talk about it, is that we're looking at our roster, right? We need to try to get like a top lottery pick or get lucky and get a top lottery pick to get a good player to build around. As good as Capella is, I don't think we build around him.
I feel like Capella and like the contract, when looking at like how much we're paying Plumlee anyways, we might as well get Capella. And I feel like he's not gonna like affect enough that like he's gonna hurt our chances of getting like a good pick. But I feel like at least we'd have him in case, like hypothetically speaking, we were gonna have this team be good.
I really don't know why they're doing this trade. I imagine it's
It
about
makes
money.
no sense.
It must be about money and they want to sign somebody else, but I don't know if the computer's smart enough to sign somebody else.
It's hard to
Do you
say.
think that we should also trade like a Josh Jackson or something?
I feel like we should do the Plumlee trade and then like see what else we can get for other players like separate.
Should we go from there? Let's do this Plumlee trade and then go from there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm about it. Let's do it. Clint Capella is he's our best player. he's a Detroit Piston.
Nice.
And he's a good
What
inside
badges does
defender.
he have?
He fits our mold. Like we're trying to be a better defensive
That's what I was
team.
thinking.
And he's
And look
also
at that
like
rebounding.
he's on the same like level of like Jabari Grant that we can build around.
Do you see his A+ rebounding?
Yeah. I almost want to play with him again. We'll see how it goes. I probably should have only played the last game of the season, but
Hold on, who else are we gonna trade now? Should we see what we can get for?
yeah. Okay. We have Dennis Smith and Killian Hayes at point guard, right? Then we have Diallo
See
and
what
Bed.
we can.
We
see
have
what we can
Grant
for
and then
Hayes.
Jackson, Stewart Demboyo, Capella Okafor. I mean, we could trade any of these extra guys if we want to try, or we can stay deep. I don't know.
Do you want to sign those guys from free agency right now?
Let's sign those guys. Mostly because we committed to doing it. Oh, we have to trade some guys and get like.
That's what I
space.
thought too. Kind of do like 2-for-1s and shit.
Yeah, we have to finesse a little bit. Okay, that's fine. I'm just okay. Let's look at like, is there any higher level guys? Like, do we want to get rid of Josh? Who are we signing? Okay, we're signing a shooting guard and a center. I think we should try to trade Okafor then, if we can.
Put Okafor in one of our lower level guys.
We could currently at shooting guard we have Diallo and Bay. These two.
Wait, maybe.
Would
See
you want to trade
what
one
we
of
can
these
get
and
for-
like just throw J.R. Smith in the starting lineup, or like even on the bench rotation?
Maybe try and see what we could get for Okafor and Diallo, and maybe we could get like a starting shooting guard that way, and then we could have like JR off the bench. He's having a pretty good amount.
Larry Nance, I kind of like. Lou Williams, not really. Duncan Robinson.
Buddy Hield's not too bad.
Buddy
And
Hield and
Hassan,
Hassan Whiteside's kind of juicy.
But they want a second round pick. I guess we can see what other offers there are.
I
But
don't
that's
mind the
not too
second
bad.
round picks so much. We have 3 this year, and they're just second round picks. But
Mhm.
Kuzma.
Kuzma.
I'm not seeing anything, man, that's too juicy.
I don't know, that Hield trade's not too bad, but we're trying to do like a 2-for-1 in theory.
Let me just look at Okafor. Pat Beverly.
Bev.
Pat Bev would fit our culture
Bev
really
would
well.
be good for, yeah, the defense. Look like contract though.
And we'd be picking up a pick. And the thing is that interests me about this. Like, okay, the problem is it like kind of kicks out Hayes out of the rotation, maybe. This is a pretty big problem. But we plan to sign Thon Maker, so it'd be like getting Pat Beverly and a pick, and then like we're already planning on playing Thon.
I do like Bev.
Should we get another second round pick? Oh, we could just trade him up for Buddy Hield. He's expensive. And he's not great, but he's expensive.
He's kind of young. I guess Jaleel's young too. It's wild
27.
that we can do Jaleel for Buddy straight up.
I don't mind it because I don't think Jaleel's gonna get much better. Is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting option. He is expensive. This is something we really need to take into account because we already took on an expensive Capella contract.
I feel like Capella is definitely worth it more than Hield is. I feel like we'd almost want to hold off for free agency before signing like or trading for a guy like Hield.
Really?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know how much space we have.
I was hoping we could trade our garbage for a first round pick somehow or another within like the year.
It might be hard. I feel like 2K is pretty stingy with first round picks.
Do you think we should call it a day and just say like that's the best we can really do with trades? Oh no, because we were trying to sign
Still,
2-for-1s.
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
the-
we definitely have to do some like 2-for-1s, even if we give up some like garbage guys from like some mediocre guys.
Okay. Who do we want to trade? Not the first 3. I do think I like Jackson. I like him in real life a lot.
We can trade Jackson for sure.
We could definitely trade him. We could trade Bay. I think I'm not loyal to like the rest of these guys. I'm a little loyal to Dennis Smith. To like, we need a starting point guard who's decent, and he's decent. And I don't think we're gonna get a better guard than him, really.
What about Isaiah?
Isaiah. I guess we could sign Isaiah. You're right. Throw Josh Jackson and Dennis Smith Jr. out there. See what we can get. Lauri Markkanen. Oh, we're good at power forward.
Lauri Lowry's salary's not that bad though, and especially if we could re-sign him. That's kind of an interesting one.
Yeah. Let's revisit that in a second. I apologize if I'm going too fast. I'm just gonna take a quick look at him.
No, I'm just taking a quick look too.
Terry Rozier. He's relatively expensive. He's an 82.
I was gonna need another English muffin, I think too.
I think he would upgrade our team though.
Terry is an interesting option.
I think he's a little bit more interesting than like a Buddy Hield at shooting guard, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think he's better than Buddy's, even like 2K.
I'd rather play with him. Ooh, Joe Harris. We were just talking about how good we like Joe Harris. He's stupid expensive. Holy shit.
It's crazy how expensive Joe is.
Oh my god, I didn't see that. $72 million? Nah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to put my foot on that one and say, no, we can't do that. That's just not good for the long-term interest of our team.
The team.
Unless we're getting like draft picks too, maybe. This Kira guy could be good. He's a point guard with a future. But he's also in the same situation as like Hayes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about him actually. Kelly Oubre.
Oubre is kind of interesting, but I feel like since we just got wait, hold on. Oubre?
Sorry, I went right back to the Terry Rozier thing. Yeah, we just got. I think our small forwards are kind of figured out with Grant being kind of a long-term option, a stable option. I'm not sure how I feel about Diallo enough to where I'm like, I kind of like this trade. We're not doing a 2-for-1 is the problem. I don't even know how good Vernon Carey is. He's a guy I'd probably actually rather play at power forward and not probably play at all. As young as he is.
In theory, we could always release some players if we're not going to be able to like our bottom end players.
Okay. If we did a trade like this, wouldn't we actually rather put Terry Rozier at like point guard? And he'd be like our new starting point guard?
What badges does he have, or what's like his playmaking and everything?
Yeah, we can look at him. I see a lot of A's. A-. He's good at defense, which is something we value here. Good athleticism, good potential. His badges aren't bad. He'd be a good mentor for somebody if we could bring in somebody soon.
I got that playmaking.
Flashy badges.
Okay.
I don't know, but man, I kind of feel like taking this.
I feel like we should make that trade, and we definitely could start him or like put him as our like main point guard.
We're definitely taking like quality over quantity because we are giving up like 2 high-level 70s for basically like 1 high 80 and a low 70.
I think it's worth.
The age thing is very interesting, like 2 23s for a 19 and a 26. Like, it seems like a very fair trade. But I think at the end of the day, we're upgrading our point guard, really.
We definitely needed a new point guard, and I think Terry could be that guy.
I'm agreeing to it. Okay, let's look at this again.
Check out the new roster.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the best way to do it. Because I can... Let's see what happens when I switch Rozier to a point guard. He loses 2 overall.
That's kind of sad, but...
He just, like, the current plan. Like, if we're going to put the ball in someone's hands, it should probably be a 20 badged 80 overall instead of, like, the next point guard. Hayes
realistically.
Yeah.
I feel like the badges make a big difference in GK for sure.
So we have a good center, a good small forward, a power forward. I'll say is good. He's young. He's developmental. Good.
It's pretty good.
Our guard situation is like, okay, yeah, we could move Terry to shooting guard, but I think we'd rather keep Diallo at shooting guard right now, because that's in his better interest with Rozier and then Bay backing up. Like, I'm just confident Rozier being a point guard is fine. He's got A- playmaking. I'm not mad about that.
He should get the job done.
Oh, we need to kind of find like another shooting guard if we can, because we just gave up a small forward.
Let's release Vernon.
We only have a small
sign
forward. We have
JR.
Grant, and then we don't know who our backup small forward is. Like, it would be this guy, I guess. What were you saying?
We should release somebody and sign JR.
Yeah. Wait, unless signed by another team next 2 days. Sure. No one's gonna sign him. We just traded for this guy, so I don't know if there's like a penalty for that. Let's do it. Alright, I just released 2 guys. Let's see how that goes. Vernon Carey is another center too, so like now we have Vernon Carey. Do we still have Okafor? Did we not trade him yet? We should trade Okafor if we can.
Let's see what we could get for Okafor.
Because the golden plan is, right, like Capella would be our starter. I feel good about going right into Thon Maker as our backup center.
Yeah.
And then of course we'll have this 19-year-old 73 like developing, I guess. To where like if he needs to start in the bench rotation somehow, cool. If he doesn't, also cool.
Yeah.
If we can trade Okafor for, I'd like to trade like, what if we could trade him in a 2nd round pick for a 1st round pick? Would be ideal.
That would be ideal.
Should we do something like this and just build draft capital?
I wouldn't mind having Pat Bev still. Chilling for Pat Bev.
He fits the culture.
And we need to get another draft pick.
This is one of those things where I feel bad about it. I'm not dedicated to killing Hayes at all. Then again, I also feel dumb like playing Pat Bev over him, I guess. That doesn't feel like a good move, but I guess it could be.
It's not like productive from a.
We could give up a 2nd round pick and get our backup small forward that we're kind of looking for, in Jashawn Tate.
That's not a bad idea. Necessarily.
5 badges. They're not great, but they're okay. He's an interesting option. I don't want to spend too much time like just reviewing our trade options where we should probably advance.
Was that Covington back there?
Yeah.
Covington's an interesting option because we could move him to the 3-2.
Yeah, he's very good at defense.
Like they have him as a 4. What badges does he have?
Oh, he's got a bunch of defensive badges and some pretty good offensive ones.
Which defensive badges?
Trapper.
Clamps is pretty good. We might want him.
Trapper's good. Off-ball passes even fine. These are good badges.
He might be worth a serious look.
Do you think it's worth giving up a 2nd round pick though for? And we'll play him at small
Potentially.
probably, and his overall will go up, I assume.
That's what I'm thinking. Because we could either, honestly, if we moved him to the 3, we could probably either start him over Grant or like adjust that part of our
I
lineup
don't think
or
over
start him
Grant, but I think
off
he'd
the
be a
bench.
backup, but like be worth like for
Devel-
developmental
Development.
purposes.
I think he'd be worth it.
Giving up a second round pick for it and Okafor.
I think so. Let's do it.
All right, Blazers liked it.
Let's see what his overall does if we move him to the 3.
Yeah, 80 overall. Nice.
That is pretty nice.
Okay. I do worry about our whole tanking philosophy here when like our roster's getting good. But it does seem like I don't necessarily disagree with it. This is just good like office management. So we got kind of some forwards figured out in our center. Rozier's fine. Our shooting guard is still Diallo or Bay, which is kind of fine at 77 either way. Whoever we want to start. And off the bench, yeah, we got Covington. Let me look at it like this. Sorry, this helps me do better.
I think I organize it too.
Got Rozier. Let's say Diallo's our starter for now. Grant, Stewart, Capella, Hayes, Bay, Tempoya's the 4. And then Covington. And then who's our backup center? We need to sign
Thon. I feel like we should release one more person and then try and add and Thon, and then I think we should be good.
I dropped 2 people. We might be able to. Hold on.
We might be able to actually if you did drop 2 people.
I'll sign Thon first.
Okay.
Ooh, we can't offer him much. And if I go up in years, he gets mad. I don't think we can be signed JR is the problem.
We might not have enough.
To be fair,
we don't necessarily need JR.
My problem with JR is that like we're not trying to develop necessarily Diallo or Bay so much where I was like, hey, having J.R. Smith around would be fantastic because he would teach these shooting guards something, whereas like Thonmaker could be helpful. I don't know, maybe. Either one, it's like we're just getting a guy. He declined it.
I guess see what JR says maybe. Because I feel like Thon's more for depth, but JR would be for more, I think.
No, Thon is like we need another center. Because like it'll be like Capella's with the 1s, and then the 2s we bring in Vernon Carey. Who's a 73? Okay, he's about what Thon is, I guess.
He's serviceable. He's not great, but
he's 69 or 6'9". He's 69. Woo. He's all right.
That's kind of short.
Yeah. Who was I saying? Trade. We have a bunch of shooting guards we could cut.
We could try and trade him for another
We
center
could also
too.
cut these.
Maybe try and trade
Corey
like.
Joseph's making $12 million right now. Should we just cut
See
him
if
right
we
now?
can trade. Try and trade him for a center.
I wasn't really taking this into account. It's like this guy's making nothing, so I don't care about keeping him on. He's making nothing. Corey's making $12 million. $5 million from a recruiter here. Tyler Cook's making like 1. Like the thing is, Corey is really stupid expensive for a guy that we're not trying to really use. Seth Curry, kind of juicy. That's gonna cost our first round pick, and I don't really want to do that. I kind of ignored these first round picks. A thing like this doesn't bother me as much as like Larry Nance is like worth the 3 years, like 30 million, right? Whereas Corey Joseph is not worth the 12 million at all. So like I don't mind spending more money on a good player. So this is all I'm throwing out real quick. Even if also, it seems like it's
I
only
get
2
what you're
overall,
saying.
but like he's a few years younger. And let's look at some options. We might just want to use something like this to pick up draft capital.
We could do something like that too.
Lou Will.
Louisville.
Andre Iguodala. Okay. Hmm. Do we need something? I forgot. Are we looking for a position?
We're trying to get a center technically.
That is kind of tough. I do like this deal as far as it goes. Kleber in a second. Aaron Baines.
Baines.
We are Aaron Baines fan club.
Because we could release the other guy too, probably.
One time I was playing
And his
Madden.
contract's super cheap.
One time I was playing Madden and I was like, my first overall pick was like in the top 5 or something. I was like, I'm gonna get a game changer, and then I was like, whoa, this guy plays for Washington State. I should draft him instead.
Kelly O's not a bad option. We can move him to the 5.
He can play our backup center too. Well, how tall is he? 6'11". Yeah, he could be a center for sure. It would cost us a 2nd round pick.
Total.
Poto's also, he's very similar in the same situation, I guess. Is he a little bit more expensive? Well, over 3 years, it's probably not as expensive as Kelly.
He's younger too.
Mike Muscala. This could just be a budget move. Wow.
Yeah, for like a budget debt move.
I
That would
don't know
be too
if
bad,
Mike's
honestly.
good, but he can score, I guess. Not very athletic and can't rebound, but Jr. Bertans. We do like our Bertans around here. I was hoping we could finesse and like, we're back at 1. I was hoping we could finesse and somehow get a draft pick. Can talk about? Let me approach you with the options where like we get a draft pick, right? This guy's bad. I don't know. I don't know who he is. But
I'm not
better.
into that offer.
He is better than like Corey Joseph. So this is very positive, future looking. He doesn't fix our center issue though. But we could pick up a 2nd round in a couple years. Yeah, Bullock's pretty similar. Shorter player for 2nd round pick. Okay, how tall is Kleber? He's 6'10". Would you mind playing Kleber as our backup center at 6'10"?
I would be into that.
He can score
He
really
can
well.
shoot too.
Yeah.
What badges does he have?
Probably good shooting badges.
He's got 10 badges.
Yeah. He seems alright.
Okay. Yeah, he'd be a decent center backup.
It's a 2nd round pick in 2024. It's not gonna be great.
That's not a special pick, but we'd be saving some money still and have him for 2 years. Well, I guess not over 2
well, I mean,
years.
like,
but
it's $8 million per year versus the $12 million per year.
I guess on the books we'd be saving money.
I don't know if we'll keep him even around next year, but like we could try. I don't know.
I guess we could see what other pick offers we can.
We already looked through all of them. I want to know what you're thinking, man.
Honestly, if you're trying to get a pick back, I think the Kleber one's probably the best. Like, trying to get a pick while also a pick so far away, I don't know if it's super worth it. If we're just trying to fix...
Corey Joseph's a guy that, like, we aren't playing at all, is what I'm saying. So, getting...
If we're just trying to solve an issue, I'd probably go for the Pirtle. Great.
The Pirtle one. Basically, we need a backup center. We
The
could
Pirtle
sign.
trade would definitely solve the backup issue.
The problem is too is like when we. I don't know about this trade precisely. I guess it might work. We might be able to do this and then sign Thon because we'd be freeing up space, like around like $4 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about we try this and we try Scython again?
Hold on, go to Pirtle one more time real quick.
Um, nope.
What badges does he have?
He's about the
Oh,
same
he doesn't
price.
have
I just
many.
wanted to say real quick, is he's about the same price, just 3 years instead of 2 years. A little bit more.
He's 7'1". He's got good height for the center position,
Like
but
no badges, but all defense, which I'm also not against.
he's got silver rebound chaser, which is kind of nice for a center. But
Brick wall. I like brick wall a lot because I like to do the pick and roll thing a lot.
mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both similar to me. I kind of like the Podol one a little bit more because we're getting a second round pick, whereas this one we're giving up a second round pick,
Mm-hmm.
which is also like both of those picks are not valuable. Like let's be clear, those aren't valuable. It just net gain, I guess. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Part of me says we should do the Pirtle trade.
That's enough of me of you telling me like, well, we should probably do this. I think we should just do this.
Because we're saving money. We're giving up like a non-valuable trade, but we have a solid like at center.
Yeah, and you and I both love our Podals. Okay, so I'm gonna do coaching. This is the plan, right? This starting lineup, where we have 4 80s in a 77 shooting guard, and then we got. I'm gonna move it around a little bit. Not you. We're gonna not instead of Lee, we're gonna use Killing Hayes. Hayes Bay, Covington. Then our backup power forward, Demboya, because we spent a lot of draft capital on him. And the Podol would be the center.
Let's find a masseuse, then inspire the youth. If it's best for the, then let's call it a truce. My chains get tangled, these be hateful. My mama's still praying, so really I'm grateful.
There. How do you feel about this lineup? Like, this is our bench. It's Killian Hayes, Bay, Covington, Demboya, Podol. We have an 80 on our bench, and then 4 80s in the starting rotation.
I feel like we should make Covington like the 6th man.
Covington, the 6th man. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can swap it like that.
Yeah, but otherwise I feel like
I don't know what you mean by the 6th man. I was looking at it. Like,
I think
when I play, I play the starting 5, and then I go to my bench 5. Instead of like swapping.
That's
out
fair.
two.
Usually when I play, I keep like a main rotation of my best 5 guys, and then I have like one guy who's supposed to be like the first guy off the bench, kind of, and then like I'll have like bench roster that comes in too. But
I think this works. They probably want to get Grant like his minutes, but like they can suck a dick. Okay. Who's the backup? Killian, Bay, Covington, Boyo, Podol. Yeah, cool. Alright, well, that's exactly where I wanted it to go. Now we're going to hit... That took longer than I thought it was going to take.
it took a minute. We definitely There's a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah. I mean, this was the beginning of the series, and it was kind of important to make those trades early. March 25th is the trade deadline. So I'm going to say...
Are you gonna sit him until then?
Yeah, but we're about to get a bunch of trade offers throughout the year. Because nobody's untradeable to us. So we're going to have to talk about this as we go, okay?
Alright, I'm ready.
Alright, first one. We get, like, Danny Green.
I think we should keep Covington.
I agree. Oh, what is this? Prospect scouting.
Prospect scouting.
Change target.
How many games have we won so far? I see a couple W's back there. That's what we'll have to keep.
Okay, there's 30. What? There's 30 teams in the NBA. We should do one of these two because we have only second-round picks. I guess.
Scout around the 36th pick.
Yeah. Scout around player, sure.
You can always just go and set that up to auto.
That's what I'm thinking I need to do. Is
it's easier that way.
The scouting is just kind of dumb. I don't know what it.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
And I don't even know how to fix it necessarily. I'm gonna keep going. Fix Roman Manuel. How about they'll fix the roster automatically if somebody gets hurt.
Do you want to try and offer a free agent another deal?
Oh, we didn't try that, yeah. Yes.
Because I think we have a free spot, so if we go back, we could try and
we did clear
either
up
have
space.
or I think we did free up a spot still. Because Isaiah's still there for badges. We could get Thon.
He wants 9 mil over 1 year. Okay, last time we could only offer him like 5 mil. Now we're up to 6. We might be able to get him. He declined it.
9 mil seems like a lot for Thon.
Yeah, it says like it's expected to get like 8.48.
How much does JR want?
Fucking nothing.
Is he still even on there? There he is.
Nothing.
1.6.
We could send him for league minimum, and we can put on multiple years if we want to.
I feel like that's a decent option because we could just give him, like, because which badges does he have? Do we look at his shooting badges earlier? Or?
Yeah, he's got 14 shooting badges and they're gold. He's got good badges.
Pretty good. I feel like we should just sign him and we could just use him as like a mentor, basically.
Do you think
but
it's like
for
a
how
1 year
cheap
deal,
he is?
You want to have him for 2?
Let's just do him on 2 if we can sign him for the minimum for 2 years.
That's pretty cheap. I'm down for it. Yeah, he happily accepted it.
he's all about it. He said any money to play.
I love you, JR. Thanks for joining the team. Okay.
See, Thon was being a bitch.
Let's have Hayes.
He didn't want to.
Hayes needs to be trained by Terry. Oh my! So it's a bunch of. Here's a gold.
Those are some
passer.
good badges. Flashy passer's an okay badge, but like, go back up a little bit. Like catch and shoot would be good, or like contact finisher, or relentless finisher of any kind would probably be good for him too.
Who did difficult shot? What was the other one?
Difficult shots is a good one too. Quick first step's huge. That's quick first step's good for like driving to the basket.
Yeah. I'm thinking contact finisher though. That's basically posterizer before posterizer, right? Or after posterizer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's actually gonna poster anyway. Yeah, actually, when we do like difficult shots and quick first step.
That's probably good.
Okay. Shooting guard wise, we have Bay and we have Diallo. I don't even know which one's younger. Okay, Bay is younger by 1 year. Do we want to train him? Should one train the other?
We could.
catch and shoot he could train. Let's do this. Let's do that. And Diallo might be a shooter one day. And let's talk about small forward. We have Grant.
Mhm.
Okay. Who'd be trained by... Who's our other small forward? Oh, Covington?
Yeah. Covington, yeah, that'd actually be pretty good because we could have Covington teach Grant some defense. Clamps would be great. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Intimidator is a really good badge too.
Are you thinking interceptor, pick dodger, pickpocket,
Maybe
or even like this
pickpocket.
trapper one that's gold?
Trapper would be kind of good too. Trapper's good for like double teams, but I guess it depends how you play defense. But like pickpocket would be good if you want him to be like a decent on steals.
I kind of think this pick dodger because that way he doesn't get like screened and destroyed.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay. Our power forward is Demboya is the backup.
I feel like we should try and have someone.
Who are our options? We have Demboya, Cook. Cut doesn't have anything. So Demboya is probably gonna have to teach him some badges. We don't have another power forward, do we?
Wait, do we have fucking Capella teaching anyone though? Because we could always have Capella.
We could have Capella teach him. I was thinking of having Capella being taught something by whoever our backup center is. I guess we could just have Capella. I heard that like it works better if it's like power forward to power forward versus like power forward to center kind of thing. Like as soon as you mess with positions, it's not as good or not as helpful.
It's like pick and roller or rim protector, intimidator, rebound chaser even would be pretty clutch.
I'm gonna say Lob City
honestly.
finisher real quick. I'm sorry, I'm throwing that in there.
Do rebound chaser for Isaiah too. That way.
Rim protector is huge. Yeah. Is there a rebound chaser? Did you see that?
Yeah, it's near the bottom. He's got
Yes.
gold for Capella,
Okay.
so that's pretty clutch.
God, do it. Brick wall I like a lot. I could get rid of Lob City finisher for that. Intimidator. Okay, I feel like a 10 about these three.
There were some pretty good badges.
Okay. Our center's Capella, so it's not a big deal to, well, get any more centers want to teach him shit. You don't want to teach him shit. The world doesn't want to teach him shit. Alright, never mind.
Have JR teach him catch and shoot.
What was the reason to bring in JR? How about we teach him to Rozier?
Yeah, we could do that. That works.
I don't know who else we'd really give it to. Like, we give it to Diallo. Is he already teaching? Who's teaching Diallo?
Do we have Diallo JR?
Diallo's being taught by Bay. And they're good
Okay.
badges, which is fine. How have Bay taught?
Yeah, those are fine badges.
Let's get Bay taught by JR.
JR. Okay.
And then we'll call it good.
Difficult shot. Flexible releases and rage extender would be good.
I agree. Maybe Deadeye or Clutch?
Deadeye.
I mean,
I think Deadeye is pretty good.
alright. Let's call that it. And like
Even just bringing JR for those badges is good. Those are some
Yeah.
pretty.
Bay might develop into a player for us, or he won't, but I think it's worth it regardless.
Hopefully, we could have JR turn him into a sniper potentially.
Alright. Do we want Brown and a first from Demboya? That's kind of interesting.
A 20. We wouldn't have that first round pick for a while, but it is a first round pick.
But like, look at we're giving up a backup power forward for a center who we probably could play a power forward who's going to be better than Demboya.
Let's do it.
Let me look. Moses Brown, okay? He's 21. He's young.
Yeah, Moses
He's
in real life.
7'2" though. He should probably be playing center, not power forward. I do like this trade for us though. We're picking up a first round from Houston, who's probably gonna be bad for a while. I don't think DeBoya. It says 3 stars here. I don't think he's that good.
I don't think he's that good either, really.
Let's do it. Do you want? No. I want to agree to the trade. No. How do I agree to it? Yes. Okay. Do we have to look through the whole roster again? Can I just keep sending?
And keep sending.
We'll assume that they figured it out. How do I? Yeah.
I think there's, if you look at the bottom, I think there's a button you can press to send it without having to go to another menu.
Auto. Oh, I think I did it. Who knows? I might have pushed the other button. Called up to NBA as you must return to the G League. Do we bring up Frank Jackson from the G League? Just throw him back to the G League.
You need a can of green beans? Almost.
Oh, Brooke Lopez, Nawari for Covington, Cook. I think we're good.
Now we're good on centers now, especially because didn't you just make that Moses Brown deal?
Rui Hachimura for Stewart in a second.
That's kind of an interesting one.
I just want to look at Rui for a second. A 79, good badges.
It's got some good finishing badges.
Good offense, not good at defense, not good at rebounding, decently athletic. He's also 6'8". Like he's similar to where like I don't think the second round pick is worth giving up. And technically Stewart's better at 81 versus 80. If you're gonna look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Isaiah Stewart might be better than Rui.
That's kind of crazy from a 2K standpoint, but
Yeah, I think in real life I would be all over this because I think Rui might be better in real life. But I think 2K wise, Stewart's better.
let's just keep Stewart though.
Yeah, dude, we committed to him.
He's part of the future. Back to 7.
See, this is gonna go by quick. We're gonna decline that real quick. I don't know who Keldon. Is that Keldon Johnson?
It's Keldon.
Don't you like him?
I do kind of like Keldon, but I don't know how tall he is or what badges he's had in 2K. But maybe see what badges he's...
I'll humor you. He's 21, so he's young. He's about as good as offensively as Stewart is. He's 6'5", though. Whoa, he's a 6'5" power forward. I'm gonna tell you nah. I'm gonna tell you nah right now.
Especially if we were gonna try and play him at the 4, he's not worth it.
I don't see why, in what universe is this man playing power forward in the NBA?
I think he plays like the 3.
It says power. It says power forward, small forward. So like, yeah, he does. He does. But he should be more of a small forward shooting guard. I'm just saying no.
What? Hold on. What badges does he have? Just like see his badge real quick.
6 shooting badges.
No. Catch and shoot gold is kind of interesting, but no.
He might be a good player. I think he's good
Well,
for
we
like I'm
definitely-
not gonna hype you up and say like he was good for fantasy. I'm gonna say he's probably not worth Isaiah Stewart right now though.
No, he's not worth it for 2K.
Okay, I'm gonna keep simming. All these trade offers get juicy. Oh man.
L. Anderson in a 2022 first round top 3 protected pick from the Grizz. Ooh, that's tough.
That is really tough. I think we shouldn't do it.
I don't think we should either necessarily. I do like Kyle to a certain extent, and a first round pick would be nice, but I feel like Clint's kind of our guy.
I also feel like our forward situation's nice. It's like just throwing another guy in our rotation that we don't need.
He's coming up the work.
I know the first round pick is what's really juicy about it, though. I don't think Memphis is going to have a top 3 pick. I think we will get that lottery pick, whatever it is, if we got it, if we agree to this. But I also think Clint Capella is actually just way more valuable than people are letting on.
I feel like Clint's definitely more valuable for us.
It's going to be constantly hard trying to like gauge that, because I think we're all like, Clint Capella's a solid center. Like, you could win a title with Clint Capella. Okay, we should look at our contract. I'm actually really bad at this every 2K franchise. It seems like they kind of decide by this point.
Yeah.
So like, we're not getting Rozier or Covington or Diallo to stay, is what it sounds like.
I guess if we're going to test free agency, we might have enough money to offer them deals later, but...
Like, okay, I'm just saying, if we get a trade offer within the next week for Rozier, Covington, Diallo, we should consider it.
Do you want to try and trade them right now?
We're at this point, and I have no idea what our record is. Okay, how good are we? Dude, we're good. Holy shit. We're 23-20. We're over 500.
Should we try and trade those guys, or should we keep them? And I don't know. That's a tough kind of.
I don't think like we necessarily need to trade them until the deadline. So it's March 1st, right? It's March 1st. The deadline is at the 25th. I say we keep simulating possibly winning or losing games, and we'll see. We'll see what options they give us first. Like, on the deadline, we'll kind of decide from there. Like, are we? I don't know what making the playoffs does for us, I guess, is the thing. The only thing is that, like, we don't have a first round pick, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And it'd be good for their development to get them extra games. We keep simming. We get Dragic, Robinson for Rozier and Curry. I think I'm gonna decline that.
Probably decline that.
None in Robinson for Stewart. Yeah, I'm gonna decline. Oh, we could get a top 5 pick for the Magic. Harris. This one's really tough, Matt. Again, I'm gonna bring it back to like, I don't know what this playoff run is gonna do for us, even though it seems like we're gonna make the playoffs at the moment. We could give up our center for a good draft pick and get a good guy. Matt, I kind of feel like doing this. Because we'll have all those second round picks and this. We could probably trade up to like 2 or 3. Probably not 1, but 2 or 3. And we could get a good player.
I feel like, so that's Gary Harris?
Yeah, just a decent shooting guard, which is right with our rotation of Diallo and Bay.
What badges does Gary have?
Not too much, but 2 shooting, some playmaking, and some defense. The defense fits our idea. Clamps is good.
Clamps is good.
Dodger's good. Trapper's good. I'm just saying, like, this year's draft. They're offering us this year's draft top 5 protected from Orlando. I think it'd be worth. Is there a way I can check Orlando's record right now?
I think
I don't think I can.
you can't go back without like canceling the trade.
As much as we love Clint Capella, I think we could. This might be what helps us land the franchise player we're looking for to help really get this rebuild started.
I can accept that. It would be sad to see Capella go, but
What are you really thinking? Do you think we should keep Capella? I can understand if you want to keep
Really?
Capella. I just,
It's a tough.
it's
We
very
don't have any
tempting.
picks. Is the thing. So the fact that we could get a first round pick this way, it almost seems. It might be the move.
For how bad our roster is, I think we need to do it. Is where I'm at.
I'm on board.
We could get our franchise player, man, and then we really can build around that player through this trade. Like we should like pour one out and be like, we love Clint Capella. Clint Capella is what got us here.
This is where the tank's about to officially start.
Yeah.
As soon as we trade. Well,
I think like what you proved to me over like this one season is that like we could probably take our garbage and make a playoff roster very easily around a superstar if we could get a superstar.
realistically,
The
I
problem
guess
is we
it's
need to get the superstar first.
if we trade Capella, we can have Purtle be the starting center, and then we have Moses Brown as the bench.
I'm gonna do it, Matt. I
It's
think
the
we
right
have to.
move.
They liked it. Let me look real quick and see what are the Magic at currently. It's top 5 protected. Currently, the Magic are at 4. They're at 19 and 29. We need them to win 2 more games than the Hawks to get to 5-23. They're like 4
Gonna
games
count
down.
for the West. To how bad's the bottom teams in the West?
Well, it just matters about the East, I believe, right?
No, because if it's for the draft, I think it's
Oh,
for
you're
the
right.
whole.
It is for the draft. There's 3 other teams about as bad as them. So yeah, like we should get their pick.
Hopefully, so that could be like a top 8 to top 10 pick. Hopefully,
Yeah. That's painful. Okay, hold on. Let's readdress the roster real quick. Rozier, Covington, Bay. Our starting
try-
center now is Podol, and Moses Brown is the backup, which is
we should
literally
try
like the
and see
same
if we
thing.
can trade Covington and or Rozier for a first round pick right now. Honestly,
Which teams? Which ones? Covington? You were saying maybe
And-
earlier.
and or Rozier.
Okay, let's look at Covington first. We get a We could get a first round pick next year. This is interesting. Next year, our first round pick, top 3 protected from the Wizards. I think we could. I don't think they're gonna be top bottom 3 team next year. The Celtics too risky to be whole lottery protected for me. Second round pick for Mitchell Robinson though.
That's kind of interesting.
That's our first round pick in 25.
Hmm.
Lottery protected from the Nuggets.
That's kind of an interesting one.
Top
we'd
5
be giving
protected
up our
from the
first round pick
Pacers.
later. Pacers are probably better.
I was thinking that too. This is the Pacers. Pacers are 23 and 25, so like they're below 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't think they'd be
7,
in the
8.
top 5 of picks though either.
Miami Heat are the 8th seed currently at 23 and 24,
You say?
and the Pacers are 23 and 25. Like, we could get them at a good position right now, where they think that they're not making the playoffs, but they definitely could make the playoffs. We're in a really interesting spot right now in the whole league.
Yeah, because that Pacers one's interesting. And then what other?
It is a
options do we
first
have
round
here?
pick in 2024, and we only, God knows how good we're going to be by then. I hope that we're good in like 2 or 3 years now.
Maybe see what we could get if we traded Covington and Rozier together. Anna are super great.
I was hoping we could get like some draft capital, realistically.
That's what I was hoping for too. Yeah, I was thinking one of those offers would feature some sort of picks, but no, the Covington by himself offer for
Why don't we look at Rozier
that.
by himself first?
Okay.
So like basically the same option, but not a first round pick. This one's gonna be further away to trade up Rozier. I'm gonna speed through this a little bit.
Not just capital and having Kalo would be interesting.
Our second round pick in him. I like Robinson a lot. I just want to quickly throw out there.
That's pretty cheap too, salary wise. It's like 1.6 million.
Pushing off our second round pick for Miles Turner. Also interesting. He's another center you're like, we could be fine for him for a while.
He's pretty young.
Oladipo to Rozier. He's
I wonder
cheaper.
if we could re-sign
Oh, but he won't
Oladipo.
resign. Oh, didn't we already decide? Like Rozier's not gonna resign. Like we should trade Rozier.
No, Rozier. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why we could trade Rozier and Covington, but I don't know if Oladipo would resign either. Okay.
Spurs. We can
What's
trade
that?
second round, first round, 10 protected. Spurs. Spurs are interesting.
might be
They're
kinda
so
bad.
hard to gauge if like they're gonna be like a lottery
I feel
team
like the
or if they're gonna be a playoff
Spurs are
team.
going to be kind of bad. I feel like that's kind of a risky one.
The Thunder. I think the Thunder are gonna be really bad. I don't think this is a good idea.
They're probably going to be pretty bad.
We could go long ball and say like we'll get a first and 25.
Pretty far.
I know that you're thinking it's pretty far. I will say that like we're gonna go through like a whole
I
season
guess
at
when-
least tonight.
Well,
Like this is
when
only
you
like
said
4 or
it
5
goes
nights
too
of us
fast.
streaming.
That's true.
So I'm just throwing that out there that like it could happen. It could be happening where you're making that pick.
Draymond.
Okay, so when
Should
I'm
we
saying
trade
first,
Rozier? What's Draymond's contract? Hold on, go back for a second.
Draymond's contract, 3 years, 72 mil. I don't think I can do that, man.
That's pretty pricey, but he fits the defense.
Good defensive
look at all those
badges.
badges.
Oh yeah, those good badges. He'd be good to have in the building to develop Stewart.
With that contract too, when we have to keep him at least through the end of the season.
We could trade him in this last year or 2 years. I always think that we can trade him within the year. It's just that like he could be good for Stewart.
I feel like we should almost make that move just to have him.
It does sound like we're throwing a lot of apples into Stewart, and like he really is our future. When we didn't draft him, we aren't loyal to him. It just seems that like he has the.
Technically, the Pistons did use their first round pick this year for him. So in theory, I guess he is kind of like what they thought of as their young talent in the future.
I don't mind it. I do think it is it's a long ball game.
I think we should get Dre.
Do you think it? What do you think? Do you think we should do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Bye, Terry. Enjoy the Warriors. Oh, enjoy your dynasty.
He's just never gonna play over there.
He's never gonna play over Steph. Okay. So we should trade Covington, and maybe pick up like. I think we should do the Sixers deal right now. We'll get a first round pick. Was there another one that was closer? Not this one.
There is one I think that's closer. I think it was just that was a decent one too, kind of. Maybe the offer changed since we.
I think it might have changed. I think that they just like pushed it back like 2 years or something. Or no, it might have been just a year. It might have been this. I think it'd be worth us to get Bertans here, just for the potential of a Sixer. I guess the Sixers are not gonna be even a lottery team though, huh?
Oh, it's gonna be a later first round.
The Celtics. No, you know what it was? It was against the Wizards. I thought that were giving us like a good shot, and I was like, I think the Wizards are gonna be not a top 3 team.
Yeah.
But it looks like they revoked that offer.
When they saw we traded for Draymond, they were like, no.
Like,
technically, something we could also try to do that works sometimes is you can go and you can look at each team's picks and you can just try and like offer them and see what they're like willing to take. So we could always try and like select a team with picks and then like offer them like Covington, like one of the other players we don't care about, or one of like our second round picks or some shit.
right.
It's a little bit more time consuming, but it might be
It's
worth
worth
it
it.
to try it.
Do you want to make any last trades before we keep going?
I feel like we should try and trade Covington right now to get like a pick still before the deadline,
Let's do
just
it.
because he's not going to resign.
Do you think this 76ers deal the best we're gonna get?
It might be, unless you want to try and
Top
like,
3
grade them
protected is
anyway.
pretty high to where like I know we're gonna get that pick
We're definitely going to have a first round pick from them.
in
So if
2023.
you're willing,
Which we could also just
yeah.
trade that pick is all I'm saying. But like you know that we're gonna have it.
that's true too.
I,
That could be worth it.
the other ones are all lottery protected. It's like we have the lottery protected from the Celtics or the Pacers, which you feel good about. Like they're probably gonna make the playoffs themselves.
I feel like the 76 one's the best offer.
I don't think Bertans does anything for us, and we should trade him soon if we can, because that's kind of expensive for a guy like that. I guess so is Covington.
I feel like, I guess the one problem is I don't know if Bertans is like defensively or athletically good enough to play at the 3.
Yeah, he's not helpful at all. And he has no badges. Okay, so the other options was like take Tristan Thompson for his 2 years, 19 mil. We'll say 19 mil. His 19 mil, we give up a second round for him, which actually pushes me to think about this Nuggets offer, which yeah is a 1-year deal to hold Barton. I think we should do this actually Nuggets deal.
What's the pick? It's a...
I think it's really hit or miss on like, do you really think the Nuggets or the 76ers, they're very both similar in their ways of like, you don't know if like either one is going to have a higher or lower draft pick overall. And we're talking about like, you know, 15 versus like, I don't know, 28, 29.
I guess I'd probably go with the Nuggets deal.
I don't know how good Will Barton is, but like, he's got a couple badges, I guess. He's also just not going to re-sign with us. in this offseason probably, and we don't want to really re-sign him. It's more just to pick up this pick and drop Covington if we really want to.
Might as well.
All right, let's just do it and move on.
time to
I'm not even looking at our roster. Let's go to the trade deadline. Lopez and Kyneton for Harris. Let's decline that. Brown, Shemet, Big, Green, decline that. Let's look at the All-Stars real quick. Okay. Did we get anybody? I doubt it, right?
Probably think no.
No, we didn't get a single person to make the All-Star game. Which is respectable. That makes sense. Nah. Bridges and Graham for Grant and Smith. This is kind of interesting. Are you looking at this one?
So it's Bridges and Graham. That is kind of an interesting one. How much better? I feel like Bridges might have some decent badges.
He's 23. And he's got some decent badges, I guess. Finishing, not much shooting or playmaking.
Also just finishing.
He's an interesting player for sure.
Grant didn't have many badges though either.
But he's a shooter, man.
How young is Graham?
26.
That's kind of interesting. What badges does Grant have?
9 finishing, 5 shooting.
Okay,
Like
that's
he is.
17.
Let's not sugarcoat it. He's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
He is 27 now. He was 26 when we started. Seems he's turned 27. He's a good inside scorer. He's a good deep shooter. Not much of a playmaker, but that's obviously not his role as the small forward. And he's decent at defense. Like, what they're looking for is they're looking for quality over quantity, and they're gonna give us 2 quality players for basically a good player, and then a player who we don't play, but we use him for developmental purposes.
I feel like we should almost make this trade because realistically, they'd both probably get in our starting lineup. Because like we're trading like 1 starter for 2 starters, basically.
If you want to, I'm down. I don't know what it does. I don't know if like we could get a better offer for Kamari Grant if we were to just trade him straight up. We might be able to get like draft picks.
Should we wait? We could hold Grant for now. I'm not crazy about it. Like it's an interesting offer, but I'm fine like not trading Grant right now. See?
Exactly. Like I think in real life, I'm all over it. In this 2K franchise, I don't know if I am.
I think it's worth just holding off and not making the trade.
Let's hold for. We'll hold to the trade deadline. Okay. The trade deadline is literally like 3 days away. Okay. On the trade deadline, they offer us Powell and Aldridge for Bruin Grant. Just decline that. Yes. Okay. We need to have a serious conversation though. Do we really want to trade Grant right now on a 3-year contract?
I feel like we should just hold on to him for now.
I think we should look.
I feel like we don't necessarily have the incentive.
We could get Tobias Harris.
We just want to take a look.
We get Jared
Kind of
Allen.
interesting.
Smart's a good defender, sure. I just want to look at our options real quick. Tyler Hero. I mean, people love their Tyler Heroes. Is all I'm saying. This is the same offer that So this offer's still on the table.
It's a good thing we can accept it. So, Angles.
Mitchell Robinson, Alfred Payton for just Grant, basically, because Cook doesn't even play anyway. We get a decent young center with potential, and then just a guard who's rotation only guard. We could get Clint Capella back.
That'd be kind of funny.
Hardaway's Navy. I'll go through this a little bit quicker. Aaron Gordon 79, Timora 79, Warren's 84. Van Vliet. I know you love your Van Vliet, your Drake. Christian Wood.
Kind of balls.
We make Christian Wood but probably play him at power forward. But we have Isaiah Stewart. Interesting.
Bring him back to the Pistons.
Ah, shit. Here we are with a 31-year-old DeRozan.
Damn.
Kind of no, honestly. I think we might want Grant more. IMO. What do you think?
I feel like I'd still probably rather have Grant in some ways. I don't know. DeRozan's a baller, but I feel like long term.
I do think he's better than Grant. I do think, yeah, but the Grant thing and like him being like 3-4 years younger, he's probably better in our long term interest to have Grant.
Yeah.
Jarrett Culver, Howell and Aldridge. Get Terry Rozier back and a first round pick next year from the Warriors. I think the Warriors, I think that in 2K the Warriors are probably going to go back to like a dynasty level good. So I don't think this
It's not the worst, but I feel like it's still on their brands.
And we do like our Terry. Well, Terry Rozier's not going to sign with us though.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Holy shit. We could get Westbrook. Do you want to get Westbrook right now?
I mean, maybe. What do we have to give up Draymond and Grant for Westbrook though? About that. You just got
I do
Draymond.
want to throw it at you real quick. Like, look how much cheaper this is though to get Westbrook.
Westbrook, look at what badges Westbrook has. I feel like Westbrook.
I'm sure he's
only
got.
has hella
Yeah,
badges.
he's got hella badges. 54. Dude, I'm not entirely against this to where, like, say we draft the shooting guard of our dreams, or the guard of our, any guard. It could be a shooting guard or a point guard. We'll have Russell Westbrook be able to train him
It's true.
with, like, pretty much any guard, almost any badge that we really need. And then, even when he's in his, like, lowish 80s, he probably has good trade value.
I'm not opposed, honestly. If you're trying to get Westbrook,
I don't like Westbrook. I'm gonna be very clear about that. I'm a Damian Lillard guy. I don't like Westbrook. What are you thinking? I don't think we're getting much draft capital out of any of these trades. Do you want to trade Grant, or should we just hold Grant?
I'm not opposed to just holding Grant, but I can see some of the logic between getting Westbrook and having him as like a mentor, and like in the games you played, you could fuck around and like ball with Westbrook technically.
That doesn't bother me. I don't care about balling so much with Westbrook, as fun as it would be.
You're trying to think what's best for the team.
Yeah. He's just not a
It's really
winner.
hard. If you're trying to draft a guard and mentor him, I would say go with Westbrook. But if you're just trying to have like stock and value for later, I'd probably hold on to Grant.
You think he's gonna be better than 85, and we could trade him when he's like 28 or 29, and he'll be in like those, 88, 89 maybe?
I could see that. I feel like we could potentially still even build around him too. Like, I feel like he's worth holding on to now.
I'm pretty big on the idea that, like, it's very hard to get a good small forward in basketball right now. So, like, having even him right now is, like, good to have at your small forward because it's gonna be so hard to find a replacement.
Mhm.
Dude, let's just keep him. I know it's a trade deadline and all, and like maybe they want big moves to happen. Westbrook only like would be a move if like we were trying to like win the finals right now. I don't think that's what we want to do.
Nah. Because that way we'll still have Grant and we can continue to have Draymond to mentor people.
I'm thinking we keep the team we have. Let's go through this All-Star break, and how about we watch this Portland game? How do you feel about that?
Check out the team in action.
Okay. I kind of want to see here. Oh, no, actually, we don't have any All-Stars, so none of this matters. Klay Thompson won the three-point contest, and Zion won the dunk contest. Kind of hype. No, wait, hold on.